I was able to get the commissions for this video thanks to today's sponsor, Wren. Stick around for more information on how you could live carbon neutral with Wren. Well, this year is quite the year for monster collecting games. With Digimon Survive releasing on July 29th, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet releasing sometime later this year, I've been thinking a lot about merging the worlds of Digimon and Pokemon. So, I thought to myself, Karn, why don't we turn these Scarlet and Violet Pokemon starters into Digimon evolution lines? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Yes, it is me, Karn. Don't worry, the beard has just gone temporarily. It will be back. I feel like I'm taking you on a date with this shirt too. And yes, today we're going to be turning Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxly not just into Digimon, but giving them full Digimon evolution lines. This video was made possible thanks to some truly talented artists, Capnii, SomeGuy944, and Weirdomon, who is new to these videos. Please do go check out their links in the description down below if you want to see some wonderful Digimon and other franchise art. They are truly phenomenal artists and I love working with them on these videos. So first off is Sprigatito, who we turned into Sprigatomon, or maybe Sprigtailmon in Japanese. The art for this Pokemon turned Digimon was done by Capnii, and I adore what they've done with the art here. While Gatomon, Mekumon, etc. are typically champions, I just think it works more for a starter Pokemon to be a rookie. So this grassy cousin of the Gatomon family gets to be one, digivolving from its in-training form Mikomon, coming from the Japanese word for green, Midori, and Neko, meaning cat, with visual similarities to Nyaramon, and then that digivolves from Mori-Botomon. Mori comes from forest in Japanese, so this is a great little green baby member of the Botomon family for this line. Capnii based Sprigatomon on the Iberian lynx, a critically endangered species located in southwest Europe. This area in particular is important as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet seem to be set in a Spanish-inspired region. Sprigatomon is a fearsome fighter despite its lower status as a rookie, compared to Gatomon, Mikamon, and Mekumon being champions, but seems to hold its own well alongside them with its barbed paw attack. Sprigatomon then digivolves to Onzamon, which gets its name from the Onza, a legendary cat species reported by Spanish conquistadors, but the design also takes influence from the jaguar in Aztec cultures, which has connotations of strength and is the representation of war. This quadrupedal Digimon is ferocious, patrolling the jungles of the digital world and leaping out at any that would seek to destroy its homestead with its signature Ortiga swipe, Ortiga being the Spanish for stinging nettle. Onzamon then digivolves to Stone Ocelomon, which Capnii based on the stone statue of a jaguar known as the, I know I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, so the robot's about to say it,
Quaxly,
in which the hearts of sacrificial victims were placed in the vessel and would be burned as an offering to the gods. Capnii took inspiration from metal Digimon like Metal Greymon, Metal Seadramon, etc., but instead of metal wanted to infuse the important element of stone, which I think produced a really great, more ancient feeling Digimon, very evocative of its Aztec origins. Stone Ocelomon would take up noble presence at the entrances of temples in the digital world, and judge whether those attempting entry are worthy or not. If they judge anyone unworthy to enter their protected temples, they strike them down with their powerful ability, Nature's Sacrifice. And finally, the mega form of the Sprigatomon line is War Xochimon. This design takes influence from two different things. First of all, the general Aztec warrior, and then a goddess called Xochiquetzal, a goddess of love, beauty, fertility, and household arts, which is basically gardening. War Xochimon wears the pelt of an Aquilamon on its head as a way to honor its fallen comrade. This is due to the fact the Xochiquetzal is depicted with an eagle on its head, and also because eagles are considered to be fierce and revered in Aztec culture. War Xochimon is a powerful warrior and commander of armies, but also has the capacity for great love and affection. It spends its days when not battling helping to grow the lush jungles of the digital world, using its Synthesis Grandiosa, which can terraform huge pieces of the most arid landscape. But any Digimon who should cross War Xochimon must also fear this power of creation, as it could easily overtake them with plant life from the inside out. Then moving over to Fuecoco, I commissioned SomeGuy944 to create Weirdomon. I wanted to keep the name similar to Fuecoco here, but Digimon doesn't tend to make as many puns and things like that, so instead I've gone with Weirdomon, making it part of the Dramon family, which another very crocodile looking Digimon, Decadramon, also is part of. I did however consider the name Hogemon, coming from Fuecoco's Japanese name Hogator, which is etymology comes from Hoge, meaning flame, and of course alligator. It is rumoured Weirdomon is a distant relative of the Guilmon and Agumon family, to whom it pays reverence like an upperclassman. When forced to battle, this easygoing Digimon will deploy its Bone Bash attack on an enemy. Weirdomon's design obviously Digimonifies Fuecoco, but also turns the ambiguousness of its headpiece, which many believe to be both a skull and some sort of pepper, which might lead Fuecoco into a ghost pepper inspired fire ghost type, which would be cool. Instead, we have made that a definitive skull, which we can also see in the in-training Snapmon and the baby Bobomon. Snapmon comes from the idea of snapping crocodiles, but also snapping of twigs and the snap sound burning wood makes. And Bobomon, by the way, I love the name Bobomon, comes from the Japanese onomatopoeia bobo, meaning to burn furiously, as many baby Digimon get their name from Japanese onomatopoeia. Weirdomon would then digivolve to Soldadramon. Some guy did absolutely phenomenal work here, sizing up Weirdomon and showing that fire beginning to burst out from within its throat. This Digimon's inspiration comes from the Soldados de Cuera, or leather jacket soldiers, who were mounted troops of Spain from the 16th to 19th century. We went of course with the Spanish soldier to once again reinforce the fact that Scarlet and Violet seem to be set in a kind of Spanish area. I'm also a huge fan of this big knife / lance type weapon on the tail, super sick. Its signature move is called Scalding Slash. Soldadramon would then digivolve to Conquistramon. The crocodile now stood more upright and helmeted, its fire now needing to be contained by this giant mechanism that allows Conquistramon to store the fire that its body naturally produces and expel it in powerful bursts from the flamethrower in its hand, an attack called Fuego Explosion. And then finally, Conquistramon will digivolve to the mega of this line, Vivardramon, now fully stood up and covered in armor. The fire from within this Digimon can no longer be contained, and so bursts forth from unarmored parts of the entire body. Vivardramon gets its name from El Cid, aka Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, a Castilian knight and warlord from medieval Spain, and a celebrated hero in Spain after his death, which ties back into the core idea of Fuecoco the Pokemon potentially being related to the ghost pepper. Vivardramon is a natural leader for its group of medieval inspired Digimon, and as such makes a natural ally to medieval Gallantmon. It is not afraid to wade into battle by itself though, and demonstrates great ferocity with its conquest spear. I am such a big fan of this art, it just caps off this line so perfectly. And hey, with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the horizon, and with Sprigatito being based on an endangered Iberian lynx, I have been thinking about the idyllic world of Pokemon, making me wish that our own world could be such a beautiful melding of man and nature, which is why I was super excited to be reached out to by today's sponsor, Wren. I think like many of us, I've been increasingly conscious of climate change and what part I could play in helping to stem the tide that is the damage to our environment. And that's where Wren steps in. Wren is a website where you can calculate your carbon footprint, then offset it by funding a diverse mix of carbon reduction projects like tree planting, mineral weathering, and rainforest protection. By answering a few questions about your lifestyle, you can find out your carbon footprint and how to reduce it, which I did myself and was actually pleasantly surprised with the result, but will be signing up with Wren to offset the carbon emissions that I do have. Once you sign up to make a monthly contribution to offset your carbon footprint, you receive monthly updates from the projects you support. You get to see what your money is spent on with photos and details on every tree planted, every acre reforested, every ton of carbon offset. I of course live in the UK, specifically Wales, where rising sea levels are beginning to threaten some of our most iconic coastal towns. As a result, I am passionate about reducing my own carbon footprint to help ensure that the beautiful vistas of Wales are enjoyed by many people for generations to come. Some steps I have personally taken are putting a focus on buying local and seasonal produce from local shops and grocers, as well of course as using reusable shopping bags whenever possible. As such, I'm a huge fan of Wren's Mineral Weathering in Scotland project, which is a project focused on using crushed basalt in soil to conduct a pilot study with the aim of carbon removal, which, if it lives up to its potential, enhanced mineral weathering could eventually sequester millions of tons of CO2 every year. It will take a lot to end the climate crisis, and you can start helping today by learning more on Wren.co, where you can offset your carbon footprint on Wren. The first 100 people who sign up using the link in the description will have 10 extra trees planted in their name. So thank you once again to Wren for sponsoring this video, helping our environment, and also ensuring I could commission these wonderful artists. And hey, speaking of wrens, or well, birds in general, our last but far from least Pokemon to Digimon conversion is turning Quaxly into Quackmon, designed by Weirdomon. Weirdomon took the basics of Quaxly and really Digimonified them, turning its hat into to the water/steam energy swirl, which you can also see develop from its baby form, Gagamon, whose name is once again Japanese onomatopoeia, this time Gaga being a duck's quack in Japanese, and then the adorable in training Patomon, whose name comes from pato, the Spanish word for duck. Quackmon is a natural sailor and also ambitious to explore the net ocean. It fends off attackers with its tiny wing. Quackmon then digivolves to the champion form Ventalinmon. Ventalinmon gets its name from the Ventalines of Cantabrian mythology, the Cantabri being a Roman Celtic people off the north coast of Iberia, specifically Spain. Ventaline literally translates to little airs or little fans, and are spirits who assist people who sail on the sea. This etymology ties into its pre-evolution Quackmon's desire to explore, but now coupled with a sense of burden to protect other sailors. Ventalinmon flies and coasts across the net ocean, coming to the aid of particularly smaller, weaker Digimon, and also uses its broad wingspan and pluming sea breeze tail to act as a waypoint for those attempting to navigate the seas. It is also a great attacker, however, and will not hesitate to defend weaker Digimon with its freezing breeze. Then the ultimate form is Jet Bittenmon, and I am in love with this design. Quaxly ending up as a jet plane for its ultimate is just peak Digimon. Jet Bittenmon gets its name of course from jet planes similar to Jet Sylphimon, and the little bittern, a European bird you might see in or around Spain. Now capable of intense flight speeds, Jet Bittenmon acts as a defender of the net ocean, taking down any and all aerial and surface attackers with its powerful Mach Destroyer. And then, stepping down as a fighter pilot, Jet Bittenmon digivolves to the Mega Don Quackmon. This humanoid armored duck Digimon is inspired by Don Quixote de la Mancha, the Spanish epic novel. Don Quackmon, much like the Hidalgo Alonso, becomes a romantic knight. Don Quackmon takes all it has learnt at sea and takes to land, to roam the digital world with any Digimon who will accompany it as its squire, attempting to rescue any feminine Digimon it can and save as many villages as possible. Though many Digimon consider Don Quackmon quite eccentric, it is nonetheless a powerful and proud warrior, striking down foes with its tidal punishment attack. And that's it, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet starters turned into Digimon evolution lines. Let me know which is your favourite down below, but of course be respectful to all of these artists who have done amazing work. This was such a fun process to see it all come together, and please do follow all the artists on their social medias, which are linked in the description down below. Thank you to my Sovereign ZDK14, as well as my DigiDestined, Tamers, Karn Club and Twitch subs who all support this channel with their hard-earned money. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, thank you so much. Check out the video below me, which will be another Pokemon related Digimon video, and I will see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.